Ok, hola a todos. Aquí estamos casi en el final del semestre. Estamos en la lección 7.3 y vamos a hablar de dos verbos, ser e ir, en el pretérito. So the preterite tenses of ser and ir. Start with ir. Here is the way ir looks in the past tense, in the preterite. Remember, preterite is the over and done, completed actions in the past. So for yo, and I'll have you repeat after these. Repeat after me as I pronounce these for you. Yo fui, tú fuiste, usted, él, ella fue, nosotros fuimos, vosotros fuisteis, ustedes, ellos, ellas fueron. Okay, so that's ir. Fui, fuiste, fue, fuimos, fuisteis, fueron. Now let's look at the verb ser. Ready? Ta-da! It is the exact same. So ir and ser have the same conjugations in the preterite tense. Yo fui, tú fuiste, usted, él, ella fue, nosotros fuimos, vosotros fuisteis, ustedes, ellos, ellas fueron. So you're asking yourself, how do we know? And again, it's one of those things where to a native Spanish speaker, they just don't even think about it. And it's just the way it is. But a tip for us all non-native Spanish speakers, most of us, is that with ir, we usually see the a afterwards. And we'll come to that in just a second. So, fui, fuiste, fue, fuimos, fuisteis, fueron. This is the way that Panorama shows it. I wanted to give you my way first for a little reveal that they were the same. So preterite tense, ser and ir. All right, so because the preterite tenses are the same, context is what's going to tell you if you're translating in your head which one of the verbs is being used. The one on the left side, él fue a comprar shampoo y jabón. We have an a in there, and that's when ir is used with another verb. So he went to buy shampoo and soap. It wouldn't make sense to say he was to buy. Number two, ¿cómo fue la película anoche? How was the movie last night? Now, for this one, I'll give you a little bit of an insight in that here in English, we say a lot of things, how did it go? How did the movie go last night? So think about that, because that means the same thing. How was the movie last night and how did it go last night are the same thing. So we do have some examples in English of when we could use ser and ir, or to be and to go, interchangeably. So looking at context of the sentence to see if you're looking at a form of ir and ser, and again, it doesn't really matter in Spanish because it's the same. It matters to you when you're translating it back into your head in English. Okay, so we're going to go through a couple examples here. And it's funny because this is straight out of Panorama, and they actually give you that it's ir and ser. Not that it matters for your conjugation because you're looking at subjects. But I hope you get some context there. So number your papers in 2 columns from 1 to 10 and write down the correct conjugation of the appropriate verbs ir and ser for these 10 and 10, these 20 questions, okay? Then unpause and come right back. Okay, let's look at these. So number 1 is already included. From ir, los viajeros fueron a Perú. So we got a in there, right? That's a good indication that we're talking go. Número 2, Patricia fue a Cusco, third person singular. Número 3, Gregorio y yo, that's nosotros, right? That's going to be fuimos. Número 4, tú, second person singular, fuiste, ahí Quitos. Número 5, yo fui a Trujillo. Número 6, ustedes, third person plural, fueron a Arequipa. Número 7, mi padre, third person singular, fue a Lima. Número 8, él, también, third person singular, fue a Machu Picchu. Número 9, nosotras fuimos, nosotros son, a Cusco. Y número 10, usted fue a Nazca. Okay, so that part of it, looking at the subject and figuring out which conjugation, at this point, you know, we're 13, 14 weeks into the class. That probably is not much of a challenge for most of you. It's just remember those conjugations. So again, fui, fuiste, fue, fuimos, fuisteis, fueron. Okay, the second column, the ser, again, not that it's changing your conjugation, but the meaning. Usted fue muy amable, you were very friendly. Número 2, yo, so that's going to be fui, muy cordial, I was very cordial. Número 3, ellos, third person plural, fueron simpáticos. Número 4, nosotros fuimos muy tontos. Tontos means silly or foolish. Número 7, número 5, tú fuiste muy generoso. Número 6, ella fue antipática. Número 7, ustedes, third person plural, fueron cordiales. Número 8, Tomás y yo fuimos muy felices. Número 9, la gente fue amable. So this is another one of those cases, we've seen that a couple times. That is a collective singular noun. So it means the people, right? But it's a singular noun, so it's going to be third person singular. We've seen it with mi familia, we've seen it with el equipo in a lesson we had towards the beginning of the semester. So just remember that is a singular, even though the concept is a group of people, right? So it's a collective singular noun. Número 10, los profesores, third person plural, fueron buenos. So you can look through, if you were to go back and translate these sentences to yourself, I don't think most of you would have much difficulty to understand if it was a went or a was type of thing, right? So it was based on context, you could figure out which verb was being used. Okay, muy bien. Aquí en este ejercicio, you're actually going to go through and listen to the conversation. I'll read that, but then you're going to select the ser or ir. So we can do this together. If you want to number your papers and go through it real quick, pause and just look at the answers and come back and dictate for yourself if this is a form of ser or a form of ir. So let's go through. I'll read this conversation one for you and you come back and give me some answers. Raúl, ¿a dónde fueron ustedes de vacaciones? So note there, we have our a, right? Remember ir? Ir always shows a, and we talked about this, that a now is at the beginning of the word and becomes part of a donde. So a donde really means donde a, right? So a donde fueron ustedes de vacaciones. Pilar, fuimos a Perú. ¿Cómo fue el viaje? How was the trip? Fue estupendo. Machu Picchu y el Callao son increíbles. ¿Fue caro el viaje? Was it expensive? No, el precio fue muy bajo. Solo costó $3,000. Now, I'll just tell you one thing. I've never used the phrase $3,000 and solo, meaning only, ever before in my life. It only cost $3 million, $3,000. Conversación 2. Isabel, Tina y Vicente fueron novios, ¿no? At ser. Sí, pero ahora no. Anoche Tina fue a comer con Gregorio y la semana pasada ellos fueron al partido de fútbol. Ah, sí, Javier y yo fuimos al partido y no los vimos. So again, based on the context, you can tell. And again, the whole thing is really, to a native Spanish speaker, that it's just the way the verbs go. And so they don't give it much thought. It's not like they're thinking, oh, I just said fui. Did I mean the form of ser or the form of ir? It's just the way it is. So that's going to work out fine for you. Okay, so easy, just one conjugation for two different verbs. And just remember, fui, fuiste, fue, fuimos, fuisteis, and fueron. And any questions, let me know. Talk to you soon.